drop.
Hmm.
So, and I mean, now the chargers are everywhere and you can pull in and go from, like 20 to 60% in like 5 minutes with the new chargers.
You're good.
Okay, we'll call to order a meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission in Port Aransas on April 23rd at 3:01 PM. Let's see. Public hearing, reading this section, right? Plan, item 2.1, Plan 26-8, preliminary and final plat being replat of lots 1 through 22, Section A, and portions of lots 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Section B, Pleasant Valley subdivision according to map or plat thereof recorded in volume 2, page 14, map records, Nueces County, Texas, together with Forsyth Street closed and abandoned by the city of Port Aransas, ordinance number 98-3, March 19th, 1988. Applicant Murdad Namvar, I apologize. Parker Cottages LLC, address intersection of Ashby Lane and Station Street. Item 3, citizen comments and reports. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter. Please limit comments to 3 minutes in accordance with the Opens Meetings Act. The Planning and Zoning Commission may not discuss or take action on any item that has not been posted on the agenda.
No comments.
No comments. All right, items for consideration. Item 4.1. Discuss and take action on meeting minutes from Planning and Zoning Commission meeting workshop on Friday, March 6th, 2026.
These minutes are pretty straightforward in your packet.
Okay,
Sorry, I was absent.
all good. Can I invite a motion?
Which one was that? The 20? Oh,
This is the six.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 2026.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Brenda and a second from Bill.
Garrett, Kipke,
yes.
Bill Straber,
Yes.
Richard Kay,
Abstain.
Stephen Wilson,
Abstain.
Brenda Owens,
Yes.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, item 4.2, discuss and take action on meeting minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on Thursday, March 26th, 2026.
Also a pretty straightforward meeting. This is where we approved the final version that went to council for the food truck ordinance, and I would want to say that was received very well at council. Previous ordinances, I have seen P and Z present something to council that council kind of tears apart. It was very much the opposite in this situation. They made one very small change, and then we added a couple of other changes based on some citizen input. So you guys did a great job putting that
Nice.
together, and it is moving forward.
Great. Thanks for the input or the feedback.
Excellent.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Richard and a second from Brenda.
Stephen Wilson,
Abstain.
Richard Kay,
Yes.
William Straber,
Yes.
Brenda Owens,
Yes.
Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, item 4.3, discuss and take action on Plan 26-8, preliminary and final plat of Driftwood Villas being a replat of lots 1 through 22, Section A and portions of lots 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Section B, Pleasant Valley subdivision. Applicant Murdad Namvar, once again, I apologize, Parker Cottages LLC. Property location intersection of Ashby Lane and Station Street.
All right, so this is a pretty straightforward preliminary and final plat. This is just a standard city subdivision. It doesn't require any kind of approval via one of the other development avenues like a NUD or a CUD. So this is just standard city street, standard city rules apply. We are also working on the civil plans at the same time. I was comfortable enough with the progress that we've made to them that we will get a final version approved prior to council on this. So I did not see any reason to not bring it to you guys at this point. We do have the applicant engineer here, who I will invite up to just talk about that. There is a small variance on it that we're asking to be, and I think that he could probably explain that much better than that.
Sure. Okay.
Like 3-inch variance or something.
I think it's like
Not
an
even
inch.
that.
Michael York with York Engineering. Appreciate y'all's time. Yeah, so the tract is on paper, 50 years ago or so, it was a 300-foot tract, but over the years, surveying things, pins move a little bit. So when the surveyor verified everything on the ground. Just errors over time with survey. The tract he actually has now, it's the two edges aren't parallel. So as you get up one of the, to the end of the last lot, his overall width was like 299.97 or something. So one of the lots is not 50 foot wide, it's 49.97 or something like that. So technically we need a variance, but it's, if you round, it's a standard 50 foot lot.
Okay.
So all the utilities have approved. City engineer has also approved. City staff recommends approval, including approval of the variance of something that small.
Okay.
Do we need to address the variance at
Yeah.
all?
Does that need to be a separate vote or?
Approval just automatically approves that, just included that, it's included in all the information that variance exists. So your
Okay.
approval of the plat just approves that.
What about the wetlands? Has it been determined?
So that wetlands determination, remember
Yeah,
that kind of law changes a lot. And so this does not have any direct connectivity to any navigable body of water. So it's not considered any kind of jurisdictional wetlands.
Okay.
It seemed like there used to be.
Yep, because the law used to be different.
It changed what, last year, I think, or the year
Mhm.
before?
I think it's been a little bit longer than that, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why you see the entire Texan property. Remember that giant piece of property for probably the first 10 years, probably 8 years I worked here, only about 65% of that could be developed. After these rules changed, 100% of it could be
Same for
developed.
the airport expansion.
Same for the airport expansion. That's the reason we could put the
Yeah.
animal shelter over there as well.
What about the space there between that trailer park and where Life in Paradise?
None of that is considered jurisdictional wetlands. It is 100% developable.
So like the new law, it states essentially like the body of that wetlands has to directly connect with a navigable body of water. So have to connect to the channel.
Or it has to be the
Or- yeah,
closest
or the
portion
closest,
to
yeah.
a navigable body of water
Oh,
or tidal
yeah,
land.
Yeah.
So a lot of our stuff that was in the dunes area on the beach kind of got, it can be developed now.
Because it used
lot
to
of
be
the-
if it rained and there was a standing body
Yep.
of water, they could consider that wetlands, but
Yeah.
now that's not case as well.
Which is kind of sad.
Yep.
That was my question, because I remembered years ago,
Mhm.
there used to be quite a few birds and stuff there.
Yeah,
And then I was noticing now there's mounds like.
there's a lot of sections in town that were made developable by that law change.
Just moving in, building and stuff.
Because
I
it
just
wasn't,
had,
it doesn't.
I just had one question for you.
Oh, so that.
Go ahead.
So I noticed in the couple of the revisions included talking about gas, each lot shall have access to gas. And block 2, lot 1, does it have access to gas?
Yeah, that was one of the only main comments we got on the preliminary plat, but also construction plan. So we've now added gas to both sides of the road. Traded a few emails with the gas department and they were good with our layout. So now basically it just runs up both sides, and the gas department also confirmed that gas runs along Ashby as well as
Okay.
Station. So now it's everywhere has gas.
Okay,
And the gas department does sign off on those civil plans prior to.
okay.
Yeah, and their
Because-
comment just happened to come in, the next week after we got the city engineer's comment.
And nobody spoke up about the variance, about being opposed to the variance or anything like that.
I think it's one of those things.
I mean, it's like,
I've
I mean, a variant, yeah, this would be the, yeah.
I mean,
had smaller
Mhm.
dimensions get a lot of scrutiny. So I just wanted to make sure.
We can round it off if you want.
No, I'm just asking, like I said, I mean, I've been up against people that are like, we won't give you that 1.5 inches.
I
I see the note about, what is it, lot 6, the draining to the highway. Have y'all spoke with TxDOT?
No, we have not, and we don't, there's no, all the drainage that goes there already does. The note wasn't
Yeah.
about, have you coordinate with them, it was about,
Yeah.
do we,
Y'all need to,
I
yeah,
forget what it said. No, it's about,
because it already drains there, right? So it's pretty much
yeah,
as long as
like
it
do
doesn't
you have
exceed, yeah.
permission to drain
Yeah.
there? We're like, no, we don't need it.
Yeah.
It's safe prescriptive right.
Yeah.
It's been doing that for, 50 years.
Yeah.
So we just have to make sure that whatever's done there complies with the master plan.
Gotcha.
And that was the main comment we're working through on the construction plans. They want us to make sure that the ditch, where there's already kind of a ditch along Ashby,
Mhm.
and we're
Mhm.
just basically redigging it, I guess. picking up at the culvert that goes under the highway and just kind of digging it out to come, fix it up, I guess, as you do the subdivision. And so DCCM made a comment that we need to just check the master plan, make sure that it's sized for all the future flows. So we're doing that.
I don't foresee any issues with that being worked out.
So what about sidewalks? Do you have sidewalks as part of it? Along internal sidewalks or sidewalks along Ashby or Station as part of a subdivision?
Oh, we did.
And they're not a requirement by our ordinances.
Okay, but state as far as accessibility doesn't require them?
I think it's only if you build them, then they have to comply,
Yep.
kind of thing.
Mhm. Okay.
I don't know where those sidewalks would go. You've got sewer and water,
Mhm.
one on one
Mhm.
side, one on the other side. Is that paved? That's gonna be roadway, correct? Over the top of it?
The water and sewer, those are outside of the paving.
They are.
Mhm.
Yeah, so your typical city street, so you've got a 50-foot right of way, 28-foot street.
28
Yeah,
foot.
and so you've got 11 feet on either side, and that's where your utilities go.
And that's just to prevent having to cut into
And the gas, actually, one of their comments that we just got, they asked us to move the gas into the property, so it's now 2 feet inside the property in the utility easement. So the only
Okay.
thing between the
Hmm.
curb and the property line will be water on one side, sewer on the other.
But the water and the sewer, they're not within utility easements. They're outside the property lines, but they're
Mhm.
within the right of way?
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's pretty standard.
Okay.
City streets are typically considered kind of.
So it's not, it
utility.
doesn't even need to be a UE because first of all, it's not on their property and secondly, it's within the right of way. Is that right? Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
It was part of that.
Yeah, utilities like that are always part of the right of way.
So I just have one question on lot 3, block 2, that corner. Has there been, as far as the radius on that corner? Cause it seems like it's a pretty sharp 90-degree corner as far as turning radius on a fire truck.
Standard city street, but I mean, right away, 50 feet, that
Mhm.
is gonna.
Does it go through fire review though? For
It
streets?
will.
It will?
Yeah, when we do are you talking about where Station and Ashby are?
No,
No,
I'm talking about,
Parker
The
Cove.
Parker Cove turn.
yeah, where it turns.
Okay.
Straight 9.
Mhm.
It does on your print, because you're just looking at the subdivision lines, so the property lines, yes, and we actually had a discussion about that,
Mhm.
whether they need to be rounded, but property lines are a straight 90, but the street within that will not be. So the right of way is 50 foot wide, the street
Mhm.
inside of it's only 28, and I forget what the radius is on the street, it's 10 or 15 feet, something
It's
like
10.
that.
Yeah.
It's 10, but then you'll bring your sewer in to accommodate, cause you don't want that in the pavement.
Correct, yeah, we try to keep that out of the paving.
And
Mhm.
fire marshal does review once the civil plans are approved, then
Mhm.
fire marshal reviews. We don't like to get him to review them ahead of time because he's contract, not city staff.
Mhm.
So we like that final version to be approved prior.
Right.
But I
on
don't
a
see any
standard-
issue with this.
Yeah, on a standard city street, it's pretty
Mhm.
straightforward, so, but that they should look at it, and if they have any issues, we can accommodate it.
A lot easier than Cinnamon Shore.
A lot easier. than
Right, yeah, we
that.
have standard type streets, so if they need a radius bigger, we got room to do it.
Yeah.
Is the large lot at the top adjacent to 361 that part of this development?
It's part of the plat, he doesn't have any plans for it yet, so it'll just be a commercial lot that's fronting 361. I don't know if he plans to sell it or just develop it later or what.
What is the
I think
zoning
they
on
had
this?
several different ideas about it and,
What's the
Oh,
zone?
you know,
right.
move, hopefully not.
It is a C2? Okay.
I think it's a C2, right?
I'm not sure that C2 zoning goes all the way to
I think
station.
it is, we had to put a note on the preliminary plat, so if
can't
you had,
remember.
because that was one of Urban's comments or DC.
I tried to blow it up and I couldn't. tell,
Yeah,
Because the greens are so close to the same color,
It's a C2 zoning?
I think that's right.
the whole.
I think it was the whole thing, and if we're.
Yeah.
If you find out that's wrong, let me know, we can correct it.
Then in reading this
C2, yeah.
final report. Final plat review by DCCM
mhm.
on page 21. Where it says provide side and rear side setbacks or provide a note indicating they shall conform to city ordinance.
And we did, I actually just responded to that, because we already had a note on our final plat, and it says. Something to the effect of this is in the city limits of Port A, so all development must comply with building code and setbacks.
Mhm.
So it's there. And
It-
generally, we just
it's
show the
a-
front setback.
Typically, we only show front setbacks. I think we've got a different reviewer now at DCCM. It would have been okay with just showing the front setbacks. The side and rear setbacks are always implied to city standards or whatever city rule is at that time. So I wasn't gonna make him do it, but then he did it and there's no harm.
Okay, well, the only reason I asked was because of the way 1 and 2 set.
Mhm.
In 2, they're going on Ashby where the rest of.
Yeah, the two that face the other direction. Yeah, if we needed to, if y'all want to see the setbacks on those, because it's a little bit different, we can do that. So
That was only.
Yeah, I mean, they're on
we
there.
got them drawn in because we had to work with the developer to make sure he understood the buildable area he has. So they're drawn in. We just didn't put them on the plat because, like I said, we usually just show the front. But it is a little different, so we can easily add that if you want.
Either way, I'm good with this version here and how it is.
Okay.
I was good with all of it, but those two, that's one.
It's one of the cleaner developments that I've seen.
Cause I actually drove
Proposed
up there. and
plats that
looked
I-
at
First one I got to do that doesn't have some kind of
Weird.
nud.
Yeah.
HUD.
Yeah.
It's
HUD.
busy. I barely had to talk to Michael at all about this one.
Very nice.
He's had the Trojan Street cut, he had Brandon Lafayette's over.
Oh,
Glen Street.
yeah.
So he's had all of our.
Yeah,
really
the
difficult ones.
Porter Hens is
And I
late
didn't know
that
that
everybody
was
showed up.
the
to talk
after
about
which
it.
actually
That was fun.
Kind of
Yeah.
into
It's
a
yeah.
hotel or. if
That
was
shaded arched line up there in lot 6, is that the flood zone?
I took a bunch
The
of.
FEMA flood zone? This one?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
elevation change.
It goes from 9 to 8. Did I
It's
see that
pretty
somewhere?
close to the fish clean house there. But I didn't know how it.
Looks-
or
thought it looked very clean.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
done anything.
It was blue.
Do we have any additional
Because
questions,
if it
folks?
was the
Yeah.
bay Into.
We got here. Make a motion to approve Plan 26-8 preliminary and final plat of Driftwood Villas, being a replat of lot 1 through 12 or 22.
Second,
We have a motion from Stephen and a second from Richard.
Alicia Foster,
Yes.
Linda Owen,
Yes.
Stephen Wilson,
Yes.
I'm on.
Richard K,
yes.
It's further.
William Straver,
Yes.
Eric Hickey,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
motion carries.
That's what. One thing I
Be
was
dramatic.
concerned about.
All right, item 5, Planning and Zoning Commission comments and items for future consideration.
I'm happy to take a break for a little while. Yeah, reading through the free check ordinance.
You don't want to do a sign ordinance or anything like that?
Thank you.
Can we review the song?
No, thank you. They started to say at council, they started to say, well, parking ordinances.
Oh,
To me, like I said, no. So
So,
not over the summer, please. Thanks. We'll talk about, I'll talk to you guys in October.
There you
I
go.
So-
think that's gonna come up.
I have 3 things, but 2 of them, let's punt till the fall. One of them is the meeting time. If we could potentially look at moving it later in the day
That directive has to come from council, so you need to reach out to them to help.
to move our time.
Mhm.
Oh, for the love. Okay.
What time do you think? I mean, we can.
I'm thinking like closer to 4, just because it's
Closer.
closer to the end of the
Yeah.
day, because, you
Make my
know,
life a little easier.
yeah.
No worries. So originally moved it to 3 to, because we were having longer meetings.
Yes.
Now that they're very short, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be opposed to a 4 PM start time. I'll
4 p.m.
verify that we have to have
Okay.
council's approval. I remember last time that was part of. It was all kind of combined with them changing their meetings.
Mhm.
So I will verify that is, if that's not the case, we can just do it.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
need the 3 o'clock.
Right.
Even
Well,
because I don't see a lot of pushback. from
I
them.
don't see any.
Because it's summer.
yeah.
See how it works out.
Yeah. And then we'll, if we get a big project, then we might wanna revisit.
Exactly. Just go from
The
here to
time.
that.
But I don't think we've had any meetings other than our workshops
official
that have
one.
been longer than
No.
an hour.
We definitely have not.
So moving it at least to 4, I think would ensure that people can come later in the day. as
There's a
well.
lot less development right now
Make my
too.
life
There's-
easier. Yeah.
We know that that'll come back someday, but I think we got a break.
Yeah, I think when I started here, it was Mondays at 5 was our P and Z meeting.
Mhm.
Then it went to, it's changed a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it also depends on your members,
Mhm.
because some of them might have a job that they absolutely can't get here
Right.
before, leave their work 10 minutes early to be here at 5.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you got all of us who are pretty, except Stephen,
Flexible now.
who are pretty
Just a little crazy
flexible.
there for a little bit.
Mhm.
But 4 would be nice. Would be better.
Okay.
Be
I'll,
done
I'll,
at the end
uh,
of the day.
I'll see what that.
I don't have to go back
entails.
Me either.
if it's at 4.
Yeah. I'd get there and then turn around and be done. Come back.
Anything else, anyone?
Guys,
What else? You said you had
Oh, wait.
multiple things and I was just.
I do, but the other 2 things, I think that it's just, maybe I plant the seed, everybody thinks about it, what that might look like. And one is parking. I know that we've had a lot of alternative parking plans come up. And maybe just look at what that looks like. If we were to address the parking and minimum parking, especially in areas where we're more limited with site because of density, like in town. If we look at those zones. And then the other one with the water situation that we're in, looking at our impervious cover. It's not something that we've ever had a requirement for impervious cover on a site, but the more pavement, the less water replenishes the aquifer that we're sitting on. So, we need to really think about that as far as being a long-term sustainable growth portion of our community.
Sure.
So
And
those
again,
2
those
things.
directives definitely do have to come from a council level down to us to workshop through. So I definitely also suggest reaching out to council and making that a priority for them.
Yeah. If I was you, I'd reach out.
Mhm. So I'm just
Okay.
bringing that up.
But yeah,
That's
let's
on
wait
my
till
list.
October.
Because I know with the food truck. When it was presented to council and I couldn't come to the meeting, but I watched it. They were still had some hesitations on the parking, but we're gonna see
Mhm.
what happens.
Because that is a yearly annual renewal for those food trucks and not
Right.
not,
And my understanding is if they get a permit in July,
they
it
have to get on.
expires in December.
Yes, ma'am. That's how all of
It's gonna be fiscal year to
It's gonna-
fiscal,
it's gonna be calendar year.
which that's how they were addressing the parking.
Mhm.
When it comes time next year for the new permits.
Oh.
Maybe we have to tweak that part of it
Mhm.
with.
Yeah.
Help with some of the parking issues.
I'd
that
be
we
curious
see.
to see how that whole generator thing goes,
Mhm.
based on the community responses.
They had some
Yeah.
comments on that, too, so we'll see.
It was a good meeting.
No, it was a really good meeting. I was
It was a long
shocked.
meeting.
Yeah, it was like till 10.
We were here
right?
till 10.
Boy.
Yeah, I know, because I was up till 11 watching it.
Yeah, I think as far as we'll see what happens with the food trucks this summer and that would probably tee up a parking conversation, prioritizing people and places over parking. So, something we can pick up in the fall if
Yeah.
council.
If council tells us to.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think.
Is ready to shut her down?
Yep. And I'm sure that you guys all heard David put in his notice.
Did
No.
not.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Did not.
David Parsons?
Yes.
I knew it was.
He was
Eventual.
required by contract to give a 6-month notice. He gave a year notice. So his last day will be April 16th of next year.
Sandfest.
And I would.
Oh, no, before Sandfest. He
No,
does.
that's the day Sandfest stuff.
Riding off into the
That was
sunset.
intentional. It's also the day of the council meeting.
I do have one more comment. As a member of P and Z, I would like to thank you and Tess for all your hard work on this food truck. I know that was an enormous task.
It was a lot of 3 a.m. wake up.
Yes, and I just want you to know how much y'all are appreciated.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep, it went smoothly and
Made us look
You
good.
want to bang it?
happy to do it.
I
All right.
think you do.
We'll adjourn at 3:25.
All right. Thanks.
All
guys.
right.
Thank you.
You do it, buddy.
Oh, man, oh, man.
I don't